And welcome to Mike Ferry TV. It is the week of February 29th. I want to read very quickly to you an email that I sent out to all of our coaching clients in the last 10 days. The reason I want to read it to you is we got a tremendous amount of response. I send our coaching clients a little 3-minute video every Tuesday and Thursday, and then I send our coaching clients every Wednesday and Friday an email on some what I think is pertinent topic. So I want to share with you what I sent them about a week ago. I said, hello, coaching clients. I said, I think it's something that each of us has to work on and be aware of, and that is, why does it take so long for people to respond to the things that they are being presented to? I wrote down the following: the fact that the majority of people do almost everything possible to avoid having to talk to people every single day. This includes real estate agents. It makes the entire process of communication very tiresome and very burdensome. I'm constantly being criticized because I do not support what I call the complete lack of communication today being used by people, whether it be Facebook, texting, tweeting. Most people have found a way to not communicate, and therefore lose a major portion of their effectiveness as a real estate person. I said to them, what I want you to think about with your customers, they're also emailing and texting and tweeting, which means they're not communicating. And if the two of you get together and not communicate, what happens to your business? Well, I sent this rather lengthy email out, and I received a bunch of wild responses. I want to share a couple of them with you. One of the clients wrote back, Mike, the faster I talk to people, the better the responses are. I finally decided I had to quit texting and tweeting. Interesting response. But these are the ones that I got the big kick out of. Listen to this. I recently listed an expired listing, Mike. When I called that expired, I used the script, of course. He told me he had received an offer on his house while it was listed for sale previously. He believed the seller, the offer didn't work because the two agents involved were negotiating through texting. Can you imagine that? I mean, here's a seller, got their home for sale, and he gets notified there's an offer coming in on the property, and the two agents never speak to each other. They communicate through texting. He then went on to say, I called another expired listing, which is now a for sale by owner, and he went by owner because his agent never spoke to him once the property was listed for sale. All communication was email or texting. He told me, the seller, he prefers a phone call. Of course, I'm following up with him weekly by calling him, even though he gave me his email address. And then she said, my new assistant told me I was doing a great job servicing my clients by calling. When she had her house for sale in Florida, her agent never called her once until the agent emailed an offer and did not respond to that offer that she went ahead and countered on for 3 days. Well, you see, the challenge is we keep looking for ways to do business without talking to people. So here's the fun one. Christian Hamilton, one of our great coaches in Northern California, had a client conversation this last week, and she said she got a listing appointment with one of her neighbors. The home had come off the market at $1.75 million. She and Christian, the coach and the client, talked about what should we do to get this listing, and of course they went to the 5-step listing presentation. She wasn't able to reach the seller after she got the appointment and made the decision to go on the appointment that she had set without pre-qualifying. She said, wow, now I know why we have to pre-qualify. The lady, this expired listing, was an ex-agent who wanted to pay a 3.5% commission and wanted to list the property above 1.5 when it was worth virtually 1.3 max. So watch, circumstance. Here is a neighbor that wants to get their home sold. It's an expired listing. They listed it at $1.7 million. It doesn't sell. Our client calls and gets an appointment, forgets to pre-qualify, finds out the seller is an agent. Amazing. And wants over $1.5 million for a property worth $1.3 million and will pay a 3% commission. Our coach said, well, what did you do? She said, I walked away. That just seems like a crazy scenario to me. I don't want a listing that won't sell. I don't want it at a discounted commission. Through our short time of coaching, I've learned this isn't the kind of business I want. Our coach said, congratulations, let's go find a motivated seller. Now listen carefully. Then our client said, what's interesting is when I told my husband that I had walked away from this listing, my husband reminded me that his best friend is a coach from one of our competitors. You might recognize the person, he has the same name. When her husband told this best friend, the coach for my son's company, that his wife walked away from the listing, the coach called her and told her that her coach, our coach, didn't know what she was talking about. And if she was coached by him, he would have told her to take that listing, no matter that it was overpriced and only 1%, and to use it as leverage for more listings, more open houses. He said, you only need one buyer for that place. A great way to get your name in the community. She told him, I don't agree with your type of thinking. Why would you want to put your name on a listing when everybody knew it was overpriced? Well, what's interesting is when you look at this scenario, in all these crazy scenarios today, what we're seeing is we're moving farther and farther away from communication, talking, interaction. We're moving farther and farther away from common sense because the market has been so strong that we have all sorts of nonsense going on. Take a listing 400,000 overpriced and take it at 3.5%. That's the kind of advice you're going to get? Well, now watch. If that's the advice you're getting, you can get that listing. But are you going to get paid? Oh no, that's why we text, that's why we email, that's why we Facebook instead of communicating, because we don't want to face the reality of the business. Guys and gals, then I had this great email come in from our client Joe Bolowick back on the East Coast. I've had many, many people not believe in what I'm doing to make my business work. He said, I want to share with you what happened. I called an expired, set an appointment. During the pre-qual, I was told that I was one of 3 agents that were going to interview. An appointment was scheduled before me and one after me. I followed up, make sure they'd received and looked at the pre-listing package. They said they had. And if they had any questions, they said no. I arrived at the home. I viewed the home. I sat down, explained that I had 3 very important questions to ask. When I got to the 3rd question, I had barely finished when she blurted out, the seller, yes, please list our home and get it sold. And so the contract and disclosures across the table that had already been filled out and signed. I checked them, they were all signed. Then I said, I have a question. What set me apart from the meetings you've had before with other agents? And what made you decide to have me represent you? She then said to me, here's what gets interesting about our business. The first agent called, said she could not make the appointment because she forgot about a prior commitment about her daughter's school. The seller said, I understand. When can you get back to me? She said, I'm so busy, it may take a week or 2. A person wants to sell their home, and the agent says, I'll get back to you in a week or 2. Let's hope this is our competition. The seller eliminated her because they did not feel she was interested. Then they told me about the second agent. The agent showed up wearing jeans, a T-shirt, and a sweater. He had a couple pieces of paper with some scribbles and notes on it. Halfway through this agent's presentation, he asked how much longer they would need from him. They said, why? He said, I have to make a quick phone call outside. He came back in from stepping outside and said he had to call his wife because she had to order some Italian food to bring home on the way from dinner. That's your competition today, guys and gals. See, they don't know what they're doing. Don't allow yourself to be in that position. As I said last week, know what to say, know what to do, control your mindset, your actions, and guess what? Your life will be good. I receive these kind of emails every day about what's going on in real estate. And I have to smile, and sometimes I have to laugh, and then I have to say to myself, thank goodness that you guys and gals are smart enough to be professional people. Watch. There are leads worth following up on, and there are leads that are a waste of time. There are leads that will bring income and leads that take income away from you. There's ways to communicate and talk to people, and there's ways to avoid that communication. Don't avoid the communication. Be aggressive when you're out working every day and be the winner that you want to be. And if you want, let me help you do it. Thanks for today.